On the news at 7, Ondo State government dismisses purported LCDA's list. Acting Governor Aiyedatiwa attacks Ondo 2054 Technical Committee on strategic plan. IGP orders watertight security ahead NLC's nationwide protest tomorrow. And from the foreign scene, Burkina Faso, Mali won against foreign intervention after Niger coup. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbera. The Ondo State government has urged indigents of the state to disregard a purported list which contains the names of local council development areas circulating in the media. A statement by the Ondo State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Sir Charles Tituluyi, said the list was not released officially by the Ondo State government. According to Sir Tituluyi in the statement, the creation of LCDA is strictly a constitutional process. Hence, the list can only be properly ascertained from Ondo State government official gazette and duly issued after passage of the enabling law by the House of Assembly and assented to by the governor. The statement urged the Ondo public to await official legal document adding that the process to put in place the LCDAs and release a relevant government instrument is ongoing and will be made public soon. Ondo State government has inaugurated a technical committee for the crafting of a design for long-term development plan tagged Ondo 2054. Inaugurating the committee at the Cocoa Conference Hall in Akure, Acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa charged the committee to come up with recommendations that will bring infrastructure and human capital development to Ondo State for future generations to come. Government House correspondent Timilane Falade has the detail.
The technical committee is set up ahead of Ondo State Development Plan project Ondo 2054, which aims at deepening prosperous economy and enhancing human capital development.
It's my pleasure to formally inaugurate the State Technical Committee on the crafting of Ondo State 30-year long-term development plan, tagged Ondo 2054.
Acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, at the inauguration of the Technical Committee for Ondo State Development Plan, said it is in tandem with Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's redeemed agenda to engineer an inclusive and sustainable development plan for the state.
Our administration, on assumption of office, promptly enacted the State Fiscal Responsibility Law of 2017. Today's event, therefore, signposts our commitment to the implementation of the law. Among other key development plans, the long-term development plan will rest on 4 pillars and several thematic areas, including major cross-cutting issues. The 4 principal pillars of the plan are as follows: prosperous economy, human capital development, environment and infrastructure, and the 4th being administration.
Aiyedatiwa said the inauguration of the Technical Committee signposts government's commitment to implement the Fiscal Responsibility Law to make Ondo State a hub for investors devoid of any political inclination.
The Technical Committee, working in conjunction with the Sector Working Group, is saddled with the core responsibility of preparing the plan, while the Strategy and Key Performance Indicator Committee will develop the strategy for implementation and key performance indicators that will be used to track the outcomes of the plan and provide regular updates on its key deliverables.
while charging members of the committee to brace up and bring their experience to bear. Ayedatiwa said the committee has 6 months to complete and deliver the development plan. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, said the Ondo 2054 agenda became necessary considering the fact that the Ondo State population would be 12.7 million by 2024, which calls for future projection on infrastructure and human capital development.
Development do not happen. Like the Big Bang theory, development must be planned and pursued. It is therefore against this backdrop that the present administration and the state intends to collectively craft the future we want through a development plan that will not only address the present day challenges, but also chart the trajectory of its growth for the next 30 years. By extant state fiscal responsibility was signed in 2017, the envisaged development plan will set the policy direction for its growth direction and the stage to onboarding key interest groups and partners that will complement the state government's efforts in its drive to optimally harness the developmental potentials of the state in order to catalyze socio-economic growth and overall development of the state.
The technical committee comprises permanent secretaries of ministries, directors, general managers, and consultants to drive the strategic plan to reality.
Ondo State Acting Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has declared open the Nigerian Army Combat Support Arms Training Week, COSAT 2023. The event held at the International Cultural and Event Center, the Dome in Akure, was themed leveraging local indigenous technology to produce innovative solutions to combat support arms to enhance NA operation in a joint environment. In attendance were Secretary to the State Government, Princess Oladuni Odu, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Chief Olugbenga Ali, Head of Service, Pastor Kayode Ogundele, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagwaja, Chairman, Council of Obas, and the DG of Akure, Oba Dr. Aladetoyinbo Ogunlade Aladelusi, and senior officers and officials of the Nigerian Army. In his address, the acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, commended the selfless service and unwavering support of the Army to the place being witnessed in Ondo State. Ayedatiwa called for synergy between the Army and sister security agencies, especially the Amotekun Corps, to stem security challenges in the state and within the region by adopting new security system for operational efficiency. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagwaja, said the engagement would enhance conversations between service chiefs and retired generals on way to adopt technology through research and development support to enhance the security measures of the country. He promised that the Nigerian Army would be transformed to adopt indigenous innovations to address security challenges. The Presidential Tribunal sitting in Abuja has reserved judgment in the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku Abubakar on the February 25 presidential election. Atiku is challenging the declaration of President Bola Tinubu as a winner of the election. Respondents in the suit are the Independent National Electoral Commission, Bola Tinubu, and the All Progressives Party. The tribunal, after adopting the party's final written addresses, reserved judgment to a date to be communicated to the parties in the case. You're still watching Osrc News at 7 after the break. IGP orders watertight security ahead NLC's nationwide protest tomorrow. This and more after the break. Please join us.
win an all-expense paid trip to Disneyland in the Indomie Golden Magnet promo. To participate, just buy the Indomie 70-gram pack and look for the magnet inside. Log into www.indomie.ng/Golden Magnet promo to fill in your details and enter your unique magnet code. All the Golden Magnet winners will get to experience the wonders of Disneyland. Silver Magnet winners stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Every pack of Indomie you buy comes with your favorite indomitable magnet. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie, tasty nutrition, good for you.
The words are hard to find, but they're still heavy on my mind tonight. The pain is deep inside, but I still want to hide. Happy birthday!
Is this what you really want to do?
Yes, Dad. That's what I've been trying to show you.
Fight for your dreams the advanced way with Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. You need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Stay in power, you find it all in Peak. Every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. And the Peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak protein breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak, reach for your peak.
You are welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. In continuation of its clampdown against criminals in the forest reserves, Ondo State Security Network Agency Amotekun Corps has apprehended 20 suspected kidnappers operating in border towns between Ondo and Edo State. The 20 individuals were among 29 suspects paraded at the Amotekun headquarters in Akure. Osrc Said Arabisana reports that the kidnapped victims also recount their experience.
Forest reserves in border towns have been identified as notorious for being a safe haven for kidnappers, but the onslaught against criminals in Ondo State is not stopping yet. Evident from the latest success recorded by the Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps. For parade are 29 suspected criminals arrested for various offences ranging from stealing, attempted robbery, illegal possession of firearms to vandalism. Ondo Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye said 20 among the suspects were arrested for kidnapping, particularly operating in border towns around Ondo and Edo states.
The criminal activities, they reside in the forestry reserves along Aladada, Jubere, up to Ijagba, and we were able to comb all these areas. We got to a point where they crossed the river, they ran with the victim, but they were able to drop the victim, and it showed us where they kept them for some few days. This is to send a signal that even crossing the water will not deter Amotekun from fishing you out if you are a criminal. Crossing the hills, hiding behind the forests and in the government reserves will not deter Amotekun from fishing you out.
So we are inside the farm. We are walking.
Among the victims who had been kidnapped is a 23-year-old polytechnic student who spent 7 days in the kidnappers' den.
They carry me along. So they're not carrying me along, and as I there follow them.
So then I cut a cassava stick. So then I started beating me on my bum, nose and hand. One of them I said that they should not beat me again. They should leave me. So then I take me along. I used 7 days.
A regent in one of the border communities in Akure North local government area, Princess Kemisola Adilowo, commended Amotekun Corps for rising to the occasion.
Ní àwọn ẹlẹ́ṣọ́ ààbò tó ṣe pé wọ́n máa béèrè owó ni bó àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ò béèrè nǹkankan lọ́wọ́ mi wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ ọjọ́ kejì náà lọ síbẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ tán ti ṣe graduation tó ń bọ̀ láti school ní Benin torí ìlú mi wà ní boundary Edo and Ondo State Edo State and Ondo State ẹ mọ̀ bọ́n ṣe ń bọ̀ àwọn kọlọ̀rọ̀ sì tún kún àwọn ọmọ yẹn ìkangan ẹsẹ̀ wọn sì rọ àlèmú yẹn dání so mo dúpẹ́ pé àjọ ààbò Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọn bá mi gbà wọ́n inú mi dùn mi ìfojú sunkún ẹnìkankan nínú ìlú.
On the recent upsurge in crime, Adeleye, who is the special advisor to Ondo Governor, said the challenging economic situation is not a free ticket to nefarious activities. The Amotekun Corps enjoined residents to avail the agency credible information for prompt action. Sahida Ribisala, OSRC News.
Meanwhile, the Acting Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun has expressed deep concern regarding the impending nationwide protest announced by the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC. While recognizing the constitutional right to peaceful protests, Egbetokun has appealed to the involved parties to ensure the demonstrations remain peaceful. The IGP acknowledged the labor union's grievances and emphasized the importance of constructive dialogue in resolving the issues. The Commissioners of Police, as a result, has directed the Commissioners of Police across various commands and supervisory assistant inspector generals to police to engage with the NOC and TUC leadership to find common grounds regarding the protests. In a statement, Egbetokun reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian police force to ensuring the safety and security of citizens during the protests, but affirmed that the police would not tolerate any act of vandalism, gas terrorism, or extortion that threatens public peace and order. The IGP also urged all stakeholders, including LLC, TUC, and civil society groups, to choose peaceful dialogue as the most effective means of addressing grievances. The House of Representatives says it would effectively oversee the implementation of palliative programs to ensure maximum benefit to Nigerians. The spokesman for the House, Akin Rotimi, in a statement following the nationwide broadcast by President Bola Tinubu, empathized with Nigerians whom it stated had been distressed due to the gap between the removal of the subsidy and the implementation of palliative measures. It expressed optimism that the policies and initiatives announced by the President will be expedited to bring succor to the people. The statement assured Nigerians that the House will be alive to the constitutional obligation to effectively monitor all entities of government responsible for the deployment of the palliative measures. Ohaneze Indigbo worldwide has called on Igbos to discountenance the 2-week sit-at-home order by the factional leader of the proscribed indigenous people Biafra IPOB, Simon Ekpam. It begged all the sons and daughters of Igbo land to go about their lawful businesses. The group's President General, in a statement while condemning the never-ending call for sit-at-home in the southeast region by Ekpa, estimated that more than 250 people in the region had lost their lives via the enforcement of the order. Nwayawo, in a statement, said the order has been instilling fears and trepidation in the good people of the zone, making it difficult for people to come out to transact their lawful businesses on the sit-at-home days. According to him, ECWA's latest action was unacceptable and must not be allowed to be successful in Igbo land. In the meantime, a robust operation aimed at curbing the enforcement of the sit-at-home order declared by the indigenous people Biafra IPOB combined troops from the 82 Division Nigerian Army and other sister security services have raided and destroyed hideouts and training camps of the IPOB ESN in the Osomon Forest, which spans across Anambra and Imo states. The operation was prompted by a lot of the group's disruptive activities in several regions in Enugu State. Director Army Public Relations Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu in a statement disclosed that during the operation, troops cleared 4 camps belonging to the separatist group, saying encounters with armed fighters from the group led to the exchanges of fire. The statement said subsequent search operation by the troops led to the arrest of 5 fleeing group members and a recovery of an IPOB flag, a CCTV camera, 2 detonated EID bombs, and a fabricated mortar tube. The statement added that 5 soldiers and 2 Nigerian police operatives sustained various degrees of injuries from the IEDs detonated by the criminals. A chopper has crashed in the Oba Accra area in Ikeja, Lagos State. The spokesman for the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, Tunji Oketumbi, confirmed the development. Also, an official of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, said that the chopper burst into flames when the incident happened. On its part, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, said 2 persons were on board the ill-fitted helicopter, and adding that though the identity of the operator of the helicopter was yet unknown, both men were rescued alive. To the foreign scene, Burkina Faso and Mali have warned that any intervention in neighboring Niger will be considered a declaration of war against their 2 countries, a signal of support for leaders of the recent coup there. The governments of Mali and Burkina Faso also refused to implement what they called illegal, illegitimate, and inhuman sanctions against the Nigerian people and authorities.
Je ne suis pas en capacité de vous dire qu'est-ce qui se
I am not able to tell you what they have discussed. You have seen President Deby. He has met with the president and with the putschists. And what I can tell you is that at the end of these meetings, he returned to Chad. So I believe that very soon we will hear about the conclusions of these meetings. What I know is that everything is in place for the constitutional order to be re-established as soon as possible.
Such measures may include the use of force.
Refuse d'appliquer ces sanctions illégales.
We refuse to apply these illegal, illegitimate and inhumane sanctions against the people of Niger. We warn that any military intervention against Niger will be considered as a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali.
We haven't made a determination yet because it is still an ongoing fluid situation. It is clear that there has been an attempt to remove President Bazoum from office. It's not yet clear that attempt will ultimately be successful, so U.S. assistance hinges on continued democratic governance in Niger.
The UK is preparing to host asylum seekers on a barge mode of the south coast. It is part of the government's campaign to deter migrants from crossing the English Channel in small boats. Campaigners have destroyed the policy as inhuman.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the system is broken. Illegal migration is out of control.
Asylum seekers are human beings. They need to be treated with decency, courtesy and respect. That human beings are best cared for in communities. A barge is not the way to treat human beings. There are so many problems with housing people in these conditions that it just doesn't bear thinking about.
Well, they're not prison ships. You're not locked up on board. You are free to come and go. What the Prime Minister is saying is that he needs to find a way of stopping the boats. And a new law has just been passed, which will enable him to stop people claiming asylum if they're coming from a safe third country and to return them more quickly. I think there's a real message here to would-be migrants and asylum seekers not to fall into the hands of the smuggling gangs.
In sport, the Super Falcons are to face England in the round of 16 at the 2023 Women's World Cup. Nigeria finished runners-up in Group B with 5 points after a goalless draw with Ireland on Monday. A day after that, England trounced China 1-6 to confirm the matchup with coach Randy Waldrum's goals. England, the European champions, finished winners of Group D with 9 points, while Denmark got 6 points to come second on the log. The Danes play co-host Australia in the next game. Nigeria's round of 16 game against the Nilnis is billed for Monday, August 7th, 2023 by 8:30 a.m. The match will be the second meeting between both sides at the Women's World Cup. And still in sports, Argentine prodigy Lionel Messi has surpassed Al Nassr striker Cristiano Ronaldo as a footballer with the most Guinness World Records. The record body shared the update chart on most Guinness World Records titles achieved by footballers via their official Twitter handle. In the new update, Messi now has 41 records, one ahead of second place Ronaldo with 40 records. Robert Lewandowski 9, Kylian Mbappe 5, and Neymar 4 completes the top 5. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the Ondo State government has dismissed a list purportedly containing the names of the newly created local council development areas and circulating on social media. According to the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Sir Charles Tituluyi, the list was not released officially by the Ondo State government. The acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has charged the Ondo 2054 Technical Committee to come up with recommendations that will bring sustainable development to the state. Ahead the nationwide protest of the Nigerian Labour Congress, the acting Inspector General of Police has ordered a watertight security to ensure peaceful protest and guard against violence. And from the foreign scene, we told you that Burkina Faso and Mali have warned against any form of foreign intervention in Niger, noting that it will be considered a declaration of war against their countries. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.